Kanoshita Ninako, the protagonist of the drama Dazzled by You, meets Ichinos Renaud, the school's handsome boyfriend, with whom the whole school and the protagonist are in love. Kanoshita Ninako sees the boy give way to a pregnant woman, and he stands at the door of the carriage. The girl stands opposite him. They begin to look at each other, smile, look away, and then look again, smiling. At the stop, Reno got out of the car, and the girl ran after him. She called out to him. He stopped and turned around. Kanoshita Ninako confessed her feelings for Rina, but the guy was already dating another girl. The girl knew about Reno's relationship, but Ninako was only happy that she had confessed to him and didn't have to carry it around anymore. The girl asked if they could remain friends after her confession, and Renaud confirmed that they could. The girl recalled how they had met. Although they went to the same school, they were in different classes, and they went home and to school together. One day, Ninako's phone fell in the train carriage and Renaud stepped on the keychain that was attached to the phone. The guy asked her name and promised to buy her a new one, as he had broken it. The next day, the boy came to the girls' class and brought her a small gift as a sign of apology for what he had done. Itonos Reno said that if she didn't like the gift, she could throw it away, but Kanoshita Ninako protested, saying that it was a gift and she would definitely keep it. Ninako's friend suggested that the girl date. He had been in love with her since middle school. The girl was always there for him in the most difficult moments of his life, but Kanoshita Ninako could not reciprocate his feelings. She refused to become a couple. A friend knew that Ninako liked Ichinos Reno and told him that he was dating his sister. The girl saw her friend's sister picking Reno up from school. Her friends told her that she should forget Renaud because her love would remain unrequited. Kanoshita Ninako was walking through the schoolyard when her friends ran up to her. They were starting a new school term and hoped to be in the same class again. The girls went to the list to find out which class they were in, and it turned out that Renaud would also be studying with them. The girls went up to the classroom. Renaud was already there. Ninako's friend pushed her into the classroom, and Ninako bumped into a big red-headed boy. She apologized to him, but he looked at her and recognized her and said loudly to the whole class that she was the girl who had confessed her love to Renaud before the holidays. Renaud heard this and came back to them. It turned out that he had been there too and heard her confess her love, that the red-haired boy had said he was not alone, and that almost the whole school knew about it. Ninako went to an empty desk, and everyone in the class started looking at each other and making noise. She wanted to cry, but she held back her tears, and Renaud looked at her with pity. During the break, Kanoshita and Ichinos bumped into each other in the hallway, and Renaud said he hoped they would get along well this year. The girl agreed. A boy with red hair ran up to the girls and asked why they were talking like that, and Ninako explained that she had asked him to be her friend, regardless of her feelings for him, and Reno was keeping his promise. He was very good to her. Ninako and her friends approached the other girls, and it turned out that they had all been rejected by Renaud. He is dating a model, so he is not interested in ordinary schoolgirls. A guy with red hair was watching their conversation from the second floor. The girls began to insult Reno, and Ninako stood up for him, saying how could they say that about a person to whom they had confessed their feelings? The red-haired guy said, "Renaud," the girl standing downstairs just defended him. "Reno, look out the window," and Ninako started to cry, trying her best not to, but she couldn't. Tears were forming in her eyes. In class, they were electing class elders. The students refused to choose themselves, so the teacher decided to choose himself. The teacher decided to choose according to today's date. Ichinos Reno and Kanoshita Ninako became the headman, and a red-haired boy raised his hand and offered himself as the third headman. The teacher agreed. The three of them went shopping. The red-haired boy was lagging behind them, and he asked to stop and rest. Ninako suggested finding a cafe, and at that time Maika's girlfriend Reno arrived, and they all went to a coffee shop together. Maika noticed a keychain that Reno had bought for Ninako. She told him how he had been looking for it and was afraid that he would not like it. Maika noticed that Ninako was very nice. They went home and Maika asked what Reno had bought. Ninako followed them and watched the couple in love. Ando, the red-haired boy, wanted to help Ninako so that she would not see her lover with another woman, so he stopped her in front of the crosswalk and asked her to leave. Ando shouted to Reno to buy the rest of the supplies himself and they would leave. The red-haired boy took Ninoko's hand and ran with her. Reno agreed to buy the rest. Ando brought Ninoko to the playground. The girl said that they hadn't bought everything for the class, and the boy said that she looked so miserable that it was impossible to watch. Ninoko wondered if Maiko knew anything about her confession to Rina, and Ando pointed out that she had asked Rina to treat her as a friend. Ninoko thanked Ando for getting her away from Maiko and Renaud. Reno was waiting for Ando at school to talk about what had happened the previous day. Ando asked Renaud if he and Maiko didn't want to be alone. Reynard replied that it was because of the redhead's personality and the fact that he had gotten Ninoko involved. Ando wondered what was wrong with his character. Reno said that if Ando didn't have a serious intention with Ninoko, he shouldn't behave like that. The redhead wondered what Reno had to do with it, why he was so worried about the girl. Ninoko was in a hurry to catch the train, tripped and fell. She was late, and the train left. Reynard came up to her and asked if she was okay. The two of them waited for another train. The girl apologized for abandoning her shopping. Reynard replied that everything was fine. It was Ando who had encouraged her to run away, and that Ando was not a bad guy. If the redhead ever hurt her, she would tell him about it. Nyoko treated Reynard to chocolate. Nyoko liked the fact that Reynard liked sweets. She told him about her dream of sitting with the guy she was dating in a coffee shop so that they could each have a piece of dessert. While the guy was telling her something interesting, she would eat her dessert, and then they would split the guy's dessert in half. Reno said he had never eaten sweets before he met Micah. Ninoko said that Micah was kind. She gave the whole box of chocolates to Reno. The school gym. The boys are playing basketball. Reynard and Ando each shot a ball into the basket. Ando shouted to Ninoko to see if the girl saw him shoot. Micah's brother told him that his father had decided to get married again, and he was okay with it, but his sister hoped that they could still keep their family together. The class was over. Reno immediately ran out of the classroom. His classmates noticed that he had been leaving class very quickly lately. Micah's brother said that he got a job. Reno comes to Micah's house every evening and then goes to work. In the morning, Ninoko met Reno, and he was very tired. Ninoko said that she had heard from Danko, Micah's brother, about her. But since Renaud is always with her, she will be fine. Ando and Ninoko were looking for books in the library when Ando started talking about Renaud and about Ninoko's love for the boy. That Reno would never confuse her with Miko, and that Ninoko should stop loving Reno. Ninoko cried and said that she would decide when to stop suffering from unrequited love, and not for him to decide for her. Renaud fainted in the subway. He remembered how Miko had shared with him that her parents had decided to divorce, that her father had left home, how they had recently laughed together and how happy they were. Miko wanted to go to class, but Reno wouldn't let her, saying that he would be with her today and then he would always be with her so she wouldn't be lonely. Reno promised Miko that he would always be with her. Reno regained consciousness in the hospital. Ninoko was by his side and she put a towel on his forehead. Reno began to wonder if he was really such a fool to say that he would always support Miko in everything and what he was doing here. Ninoko said that there was nothing wrong with resting and handed him a wet towel. Reno and Ninoko were on their way home. In the car, the girl fell asleep on the boy's shoulder. Reno smiled and fell asleep too. Ninoko woke up and apologized to Renaud for falling asleep on his shoulder when he was not feeling well. Ninoko wanted to make sure that Renaud would get on the train and go home, but he insisted that she go home because it was very late. They said goodbye. Ninoko remembered what Ando had said about people being greedy and that Ren already had a girlfriend. Ninoko shouted to the whole station that she knew. Ninoko took off the keychain Reno had given her. On July 30, Micah was invited to a party at work. She agreed. She took out her phone to write a reminder in the calendar, but there was already an entry for that date. She and Reno agreed to go to a fireworks festival. Micah was walking with Ren by the seat and told him that she would not be able to be with him at the festival because of work. He said that if it was because of work, it was okay. He always accompanies Miko, to which Reno replied that it is better to accompany her everywhere than not to see her at all. Miko hugged him from behind. Class was over. Only Ninoko and Ando were left in the classroom. Ando apologized to Ninoko for what he had said to the girl in the library. Ninoko forgave him and thanked him for worrying about her. Ando said that he had the same problems with unrequited love. When he was in middle school, he dated a girl who was in love with his best friend. To be closer to her lover, the girl became close to Ando. Later on, the friend and the girl betrayed Ando, and after that, the guy tries not to get close to girls, which is why he decided to put all his energy into the novel. Ando asked Ninoko if she was going to the fireworks festival. She says she was going with her friends. Ando asked to go with them and set a time and place to meet her. Renaud worked as a waiter in a restaurant. Ando came to his shift and said that he was in love with Ninoko, showed his phone and said that he had deleted all contacts except hers. Ninoko came into the restaurant wearing a festive kimono. Reno saw her. The girl was alone because her friend was sick. Ando took Ninoko and they went for a walk together. At the meeting, Miko was offered to become a representative of the company she was at. It was a good offer for a girl. Ando suggested that Ninoko use it to forget Reno, but the girl said she would not agree to such a meanness. Ando's ex-girlfriend saw him. She came up to them and asked if Ninoko was his girlfriend. Ando was angry at the impudent act of his ex-girlfriend, who approached him with a sweet expression as if nothing had happened between them before. The guy left in anger, and Nanoko ran after him. The girl tried to calm the guy down. Ando said that he was to blame for what happened between them. He did not pursue the girl, did not make her special to him and just let her go, and he still does not communicate with his friend. He was angry with himself because he cared about them both. Nanoko calmed him down, saying that it was the hardest thing for him. He didn't blame himself and put a smile on his face. After these words, Ando hugged Nanoko and confessed his feelings to the girl. Fireworks were launched. Ando told Nanoko that he would help her forget Reno. She could use him for that. He does not expect a quick, positive answer from her. Nanoko saw through the window a happy Reno talking to Maiko, and she started to cry. Reno saw Nanoko crying outside the restaurant. Maiko asked the guy what was wrong. He said nothing and went to serve customers. Maiko turned her head toward the window and saw Nanoko crying, and the girl left. When Reno looked out the window, Nanoko was already gone. Maiko and Renaud came to the place where they used to meet often. They noticed that a lot had changed since they stopped going there. Maiko said that she had already established a relationship with her father. She said that after she met Reno, after she fell in love with him, she became stronger and now she is fine. Maiko wanted to break up with Renaud. She said that when they started dating, she was empty inside. She was afraid that he would leave her, and she tried to become more confident. Now her work has become more important to her than him. Maiko said that she was not doing this for herself, as Reno had made a commitment to keep his word. Nanoko met Reno at school, and the boy walked by without noticing her, so Nanoko followed him. Ando's ex-girlfriend came up to her and asked if she was in love with Reno because she was following him. But Nanoko said it wasn't like that, and Ando stopped their conversation and asked, "What's this?" The girl said that she had transferred to this school. Ando asked Nanoko to go ahead. He needed to talk to his girlfriend, and that everything would be fine. Nanoko shouldn't worry about him. Ando told his ex-girlfriend that if she did anything to Nanoko, he would never forgive her. The girl realized that now he liked someone else. Nanoko's friends told her that Reno had broken up with Maiko and was now free. For her, it was a chance to win her beloved, but the girl said that she would not, as she needed to pay attention to his feelings. The class went on a field trip. For convenience, the class was divided into groups. Nanoko got lost. She heard that her friends were looking for her and ran to follow the voice. Running down the stairs, she tripped and fell into the mud, staining her clothes. Reno ran up to her. He gave her his hoodie to change into, even though he was sick and sneezing all the time. Renaud said that he and Maiko had broken up. His feelings were mixed and he was confused. He didn't love her at the time she needed him to. Nanoko said that he was very kind, always concerned about the feelings of others. Reno said he felt better after talking to Nanoko. Ando found them, but they lost the other students. Ando noticed that she was wearing Reno's hoodie. On the way home, Reno kept looking at Nanoko. Reno and Maiko met, and the boy gave him books and CDs. Reno thanked Maiko and said that he understood what the girl meant when she suggested they break up. He had figured it out. Reno said goodbye to her. Nanoko gave Reno her hoodie and they walked home together. Nanoko was humming a tune, and it turned out that this was the song that was playing in Reno's head. On the way home, they talked about their plans for the fall. The girl hung Reno's gift on her phone again. In the morning, Reno let Nanoko listen to the song he was listening to. It was the song she had been humming earlier. Her friends and her former friend Ando saw them together. The girl asked Nanoko not to get close to Reno, and she admitted that she was the one who ruined Ando and Reno's friendship. She used Ando to get closer to Renaud. The former friend told Nanoko not to get close to Renaud anymore. Her friends noticed that Nanoko didn't talk about Renaud, so she went to change the water without answering. Reno came up to her and asked why she was strange. What was wrong? If something happened, he would be worried. The girl said that everything was fine. Nanoko asked what kind of relationship he had with Ando in high school. Reno said that he used to be lonely. He only talked to those who talked to him. The only one who talked to him was Ando. Ando's constant chatter made Reno happy. Ando was also lonely, but he didn't show it to anyone. Nanoko was the first person he told about it. The girl left, and Ando was standing behind them, and Reno saw him and told him that he was in love with Nanoko's Kinoshido. Ando ran up to Nanoko and asked her what he could do to make her love him instead of Reno. He gave the girl an umbrella and ran away in the rain. Ando saw his ex-girlfriend being molested by older boys, so he took the girl and they ran away. Nanoko and Renaud were at the entrance to the haunted room. Reno was worried. He told the girl that he thought something had happened to her recently. The girl denied it and began to invite visitors to the haunted house. Her former friend thanked Ando for saving her. The guy said that he thought a lot about her and Reno, that if he hadn't run away then, he might not have lost anything. He should have been more persistent, so now he is serious about Nanoko. The girl admitted that she had talked to Ninoko and told her that she had ruined their friendship. Ando was angry. He said that she was so in love with Reno that she still can't see anyone with him. But Mao said she loved him, not Renaud. That day she made Renaud kiss her, which Renaud did not do anything. After that, she realized his feelings for her, that he was always trying to do something, and she only ruined their friendship. She asked him for forgiveness. Reno was looking for Ninoko to explain what had happened, why she was hiding from him. When he found her in the classroom, she wanted to leave the classroom and tried not to look at Reno. The boy said he loved her and wanted them to go out. Ninoko wanted to go home, but Reno stopped her because she hadn't answered him. He wasn't going to let her go without an answer. Ninoko said that she had enough. She had enough problems already. Reno apologized for his behavior and that she felt uncomfortable because of him. Reno told Ando that he was rejected. Ando went to Ninoko and asked if she was giving up, that she felt sorry for him, that Mao told her everything. Ando said that Reno and Ninoko are the same. They endure everything for the sake of others. They turn a blind eye to everything. Ando kissed Ninoko, and she pushed him away, but he asked her to be his girlfriend. Ninoko wanted to slap him for the kiss, but she saw that Ando closed his eyes and she touched his cheek and asked if he was doing it on purpose to make her hate him. Ninoko can't be with Ren. After the guy rejected her and agreed to be friends with her, she began to hate the part of herself that was very greedy. Ando sat down next to her and said that there was nothing wrong with that. Love brings not only happiness, but also pain and suffering. Ninoko was crying. She had never understood what love was before. She just wanted to protect herself. She apologized to Ando for having to go through all this with her and said that she would not be a hypocrite anymore. She still loved Renaud and would always love him. Ando kissed Ninoko on the forehead and said that if she hurried, she could catch up with her lover. Ninoko ran away. Ando was hurt by her words and began to cry. Mao went to the classroom where Ando was. The girl said that now she would be honest and open and serious about them being together again. Ninoko ran to Reno. She remembered the time spent with him. Renaud entered the train car and a passenger's headphones were playing the song he and Ninoko had been listening to. Renaud remembered all the moments he had with Ninoko. The girl had missed the train. Renaud could not go. He got out of the car. They met on the platform. Ninoko confessed her love to Reno again, just like the first time, and he reciprocated.